Hi everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my insights first and then my strategies. Guys all kind of made it a hard act to follow though. I don't have all those great pictures and everything, or a great crossword, or glitter. So I apologize. But I will try and use my energy and glitter through the paper. My first insight was at the very beginning of class, I loved the 3 sheets of paper. I don't know if you guys remember that when Dixie especially you guys know me, I'm like spread out over like the entire back desk. I'm like, okay, I've moved in over here. And then Dixie's like, locker room. I'm like, what? Locker room. I need this stuff right here. And I just thought that was a great technique. And one of my insights was that it minimized distraction and she maintained control that first day. Because if you let me just rummage around, I'll be rummaging around all class, but all I had was 3 sheets of paper to focus on. So that was like an amazing insight for me. And I thought it really opened up the classroom, was totally relaxed and open environment. We were all starting on the same page. We had 3 sheets of paper and a piece of paper and a pen to write with. That's it. No computers, no distractions. I thought that was awesome. Another insight I had was the use of multimedia and working as a group with the computers in class. It helped us to learn as a peer group. We kind of feed off each other. Like in the beginning, I know we were all like, where are we supposed to be? What website? What's going on? And we could kind of piggyback off each other, and that led to collaborative learning and kind of broke down all those walls. Now I feel like I could go up to any of you guys and be like, hey, what were we supposed to do? And it won't, but on the first day it was kind of like, I'm just going to pretend like I know what I'm doing. But now it's really, I think that led it to an open environment. I thought that was a great technique too. The variety of different stimuli and guest teachers, I thought appealed to the students and engages all type of learners. Obviously Dixie's a great teacher, but it's neat to get other people in too. So you can kind of get different techniques, and that's one of the major things I learned from this class is all the different kinds of teachers and all the borrowing and strengths you can get from all different kinds of people. Just from getting to, meet you guys and work with you, but then getting to see how you guys are in front of the class too. There's all kinds of things I want to steal from you guys. And that's just a great opportunity that I haven't gotten in any of my other classes. And I think one of the main points that Dixie drove home that I thought was really good is, as a teacher, when you make a mistake, assess it, learn from it, don't dwell on it. Move on and fix it, but always stick to your word and maintain a confident front. That for me was huge, because I mess one thing up, I'm just like, I guess it goes back to the cheerleading days, I messed up that whole routine, everyone's gonna know that, that one girl in the middle, messed up. So it was a big deal for me and a big insight for me to just be okay, move on, or pretend like it didn't happen, and just, that was part of my plan the whole time. Always step into the class prepared and ready to engage. An idle class is a dangerous class. We're never idle in here, but from my other classes I've learned that an idle class is a dangerous class. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people that isn't for this class, because they're just off in another, and these are all important things that we're learning, and as a teacher, you have important things to teach your class, so keep them engaged so they're not off doing something else. For some other classes, they think it's more important than yours. To me, that's an ultimate insult. If they're oh, well, whatever Miss Joslyn's doing, I'll get it whenever, but I really need to get this done for this class, I want them to be here with me, and I think that was a good insight, too, to be prepared. Also, group work enables students to glean various perspectives and theories on tasks at hand, as well as provides motivation to be more knowledgeable, contributing member of the group. That was something that I didn't really think about. I guess probably because I usually am always oh, I know, or in a group, I'm always really excited to work with people. I never really thought about you can pair up people, and then it's actually motivating maybe a student that isn't as vocal to actually be a contributing member of the group, because they don't want to be left out. And it actually was insightful to me too, as maybe I should shut up for a minute and let other people talk, because maybe I'm in the group and I'm so excited, I'm not meaning to, but I'm talking over somebody, and then instead and they really try to make a conscious effort of that, so what do you think, instead of just being and then, which I tend to do a lot. And And then also, a valid punishment is an effective one. As a teacher, one can motivate by the consequence of an action having an effect not only on the student, but on the student body as well. And that was from that Mr. Chips movie. I'm sure you guys all remember that, when he made that rash decision, and then it was kind of the ripple effect, but then he had to stick to his word, and I thought that was a very important lesson, because I could picture myself in that position, and I would have been like, oh, what did I do? But it was important that he stuck to that decision to make sure that he maintained that role of, so that he had that not superior role, but that he had the authoritative role in the classroom. So that's my insights. And I used cool fonts. And then strategies. This is like a little team thing. Everyone's putting their hands in the middle, like before you start a game or a cheer. And one of my favorite strategies is obviously power teaching. Really love that. Love the energy, and I love to see different people tackle that energy too, and engage people in different ways. I thought that was really fun, and it actually has helped me in my other classes as well. I mean, sometimes they look at me funny if they haven't had this class before, but I just laugh and keep going. And then the Do, Look, Learn papers were awesome for me and really stuck in that intrinsic value of reflection. And it kind of gave me a minute to sit down, think about, okay, was I going too fast? Did I meet everyone's eye contact? And then set a goal. One of them was, I remember my first goal was, I need to look in the mirror when I'm presenting because I want to see what I look like. And I did that, and I'm not going to do that again because it's kind of weird. But I actually did that. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I move around too much, or maybe I don't scan the room enough, So looking in the mirror helped, and setting goals helps. And then I think my next one was I spoke too fast. So I the next time I practiced in front of my fiance, and I was like, okay, you have to count. And he's like, what? I'm like, count. He's like, I thought I was supposed to listen. He totally lost it, but I finally gave him a stopwatch and he timed me, so that worked. So I did slow down a little bit. And then the brain-based learning, I just think that I never really thought about encouraging the brain to grow, and that stimulation promotes imagination, and that it's important to provide activities with productive uses and to keep activities fun and learning-based, emphasize reality. Students should participate in real experiences that lead to more meaningful learning. I guess it was kind of always in the back of my mind, but I never really got the application of make the classroom transcend to the outside world. That's how they're going to remember it. If you can get something in their brain that they can relate to then outside, then they're going to remember that experience and that learning experience, and they're actually going to develop as an individual in addition to as a scholar. And then the brain button strategy I thought was really cool and good. I mean, it does look kind of silly sometimes, but it does work with the breathing, and it at least gets everybody up and moving and breathing and focused, and gets them to put their papers down and just concentrate for a minute. And I really looking through the brain gym was just a totally different aspect of teaching that I guess I had overlooked before and didn't really think about. But it's great to start off and get centered and then move on. So it's kind of like, to me, how I feel, it's like laying a foundation for a house before you start framing it. You set everybody up on the same plane, get them motivated, get them breathing, get them ready to go, and then sit down and now we're going. I just think that's kind of like a tool that Brain Buttons provides for you. And then the last strategy that I really liked was the sequencing game. I thought that was really fun, and I love how it can be tailored to younger children. And it has collaborative class involvement. You get to make silly noises or do silly actions and get out of your seat and get involved, and follow your other classmates, and it teaches teamwork and depending on each other. So I think that's really cool. And that's it. Oh, and I put it in this little folder so that I could put it in a file cabinet. But I like hanging it up better, so maybe I'll have to make it bigger.
Thank you.